Hello everyone, this is Aman, your full stack instructor. Welcome to Perfect eLearning family. In today's class, we will discuss about HTML boilerplate code. So let's start without any delay. So students, in our previous lecture, we developed our first HTML web page, and as you can see on the screen, this was the basic structure which we used to develop our first web page. So let's now understand what is HTML boilerplate code. So HTML boilerplate code is nothing but it's just a template of code which we would be using every time we create new HTML pages. So let's understand this with the help of one practical example. So I am creating one new HTML file and naming it HTML boilerplate code. Okay. So here I have created one new HTML file. Now VS Code provides us a very useful feature to generate HTML boilerplate code. So you just have to press exclamatory mark, and as you can see, here is one option emit abbreviation. Okay, now you just have to press enter, and as you can see, VS Code has generated a HTML boilerplate code for us. So simple, right? Let me repeat that for you. Like, you have to just press exclamatory mark and press enter, and VS Code will generate the code for you. So this is the basic HTML boilerplate code. Now this code is slightly different from what we have used in our previous lecture. So there are some additional tags in this code which VS Code has generated for us. Now let's understand these additional tags. So the first additional thing which you can see is this language attribute. So this language attribute basically tells the search engines like Google, Yahoo that the primary content of our website is in English language. So here we have mentioned EN, which means it's in English language. If you mentioned here FR, that would mean that the content would be in the French language. Okay, so there are codes for every language, and we can mention the primary content of our website is in which language. Okay, then there are some additional meta tags. The first one is the char set UTF-8. So it is basically telling the browser that we are using UTF-8 character set encoding. Now what that means? So basically we use different characters in the content of our website. Now to make sure that these characters are displayed correctly, so we have to tell the browser that we are using UTF-8 encoding. If we don't tell the browser, then the browser will use by default encoding of the system, and that could result in that the character would not be displayed correctly. Okay, then comes the next meta tag, which is this meta tag is basically used to make sure that our web page is consistent over the different versions of Internet Explorer browser. Okay, then comes the next meta tag, viewport meta tag. So this meta tag is used to make sure that our web page width is consistent over different devices. So if we open the web page over the laptop or we open it in the mobile device, our web page width remains consistent. And here the initial scale 1 means that when we open the website, then the initial zoom level would be 100%. So here is the title and body. So this was the normal HTML boilerplate code. Let's save and run this to see if it runs correctly or not. And as you can see, our web page has run. Here you can see the title. Let's add some content also. So let me add one heading HTML boilerplate code. Let's save, and as you can see, here is the heading display. So our web page is working correctly. So now whenever you have to like create any new HTML page, so you just have to press exclamatory mark and enter, and that's it. You will get one template code. You just have to edit the title and add your content in the body. That's it. So this was the basic overview about the HTML boilerplate code. I hope you have understood the topic very well. So now practice or learn by yourself. I'll see you in the next class. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. Hello everyone, this is Aman, your full stack instructor. Welcome to Perfect eLearning family. In today's class, we will start doing some practical now. Basically, we will be developing our first HTML web page. So, are you excited? Yes, me too. So, let's start. So, students, as you can see on my screen, I have opened Visual Studio Code in my system, and I am assuming you have also installed VS Code in your system. If not, then you can refer to setting up the environment course section, where you can find the tutorial on how to install VS Code in your system. So let's start. Here I would create one folder where I would basically keeping all the projects in this course section. So I am naming it Introduction to HTML. I have created one folder. Now open this folder in VS Code. Let me locate this folder now. Okay, yeah, projects. So this is the folder which I have created. I have opened this folder in VS Code. Now let's create our first HTML file. So I would name it first HTML page.html. Now, as you can notice that the file ends with extension .html. So every HTML file ends with this extension .html. Okay. So let's start writing our code. The first line doc type HTML. This line tells the browser that this is a HTML5 document. Then comes the HTML tag, which tells that this is the starting of our HTML, and the ending HTML tag tells that here our HTML document ends. And all other tags are written between them. So then comes the head tag. Head tag, we write the information about our website. For now, we would be writing title of our website. So in the title, I would write my first web page. So this text would be shown as the title of the website. Then comes the body tag. In the body tag, we write the complete content of our website. For now, we would be adding one heading to our web page, which says welcome to our first HTML web page. Okay, done. So this was the basic first HTML web page. Now to run it, right click here and you can see one option open with live server. Now you will see this option only when you have installed live server extension in your VS Code. Again, if you haven't watched the tutorial on how to install VS Code, I will explain how to install this extension so you can watch. Okay, I click here and as you can see, our first web page has launched. The first thing you can see is the title here, my first web page. The text which we have mentioned here in the title, my first web page, is shown as the title here. Then on the web page content, you can see one heading, welcome to our first HTML web page, which we have mentioned here. So we have developed our first HTML web page. Cool, isn't it? Okay, so I hope you have learned this topic very well. So now practice or learn by yourself. I'll see you in the next class. Till then, keep learning, keep growing.